Alright, how's it going everyone? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing front pads and rotors on a 04 Honda Odyssey. They're grinding like crazy. And I got the kit online from Detroit Axle. 2 new rotors, pads, new clips, grease, brake cleaner spray, and brake fluid. This was about, I think it was like 71 bucks with shipping, so not too bad. But yeah, we're gonna get it jacked up and we're gonna start on this side, and then there's just a lot of crap in the garage right now, so I can't really get to this side. So I'll get that side done, move the van over, come to this side. So I'm gonna get the car jacked up right now. All right, so got it jacked up in the air. I forgot to mention, you should break the lug nuts loose before you jack it up. Unless you got a really strong impact, then it'll usually come off, but I just broke them loose with the breaker bar right there. And yep, we're gonna pull these off and see how bad the brakes are. Okay, and alright, so got the wheel off. You can see these are nice and crusty, but they're actually not too scored looking. But you can feel the groove big time, especially in the back. The back's pretty bad. You'll be able to see that in a minute. But we're gonna take these 2 bolts off. I'm gonna get a light actually so you can see. Alright, so I turn the wheel all the way towards me just because it gives you a little more room to get to this. Hopefully you can see now. That bolt and that bolt, and then there's 2 behind it, one there, one back there. They are 14 mil, so just gonna break them loose. Like that, and then the bottom. Okay, take these 2 bolts out. Just gonna set them in my pile of bolts. Then I usually just take the caliper and pull it this way to help squish the piston in a bit, which I don't know if it's gonna move because it feels like this caliper's seized. Yeah, you can see this thing is not really budging, so I'm gonna get a pry bar out and wedge here and down here. All right, so I'm gonna try this. I've never actually tried this. I feel like this is for body work, but I found it in my toolbox snap-on, but it's got an adjustable head on it. You push this in and then you can set it wherever you want. So I'm going to click it one forward, just try and get in here, just prying it back. Not bad, not bad. And then down here, alright, so we got that off, just wedged it off. It was all jammed in there. This has a classic case of stuck guide. I forget what these are called actually. I don't know how I just forgot that. Slide pins. They are completely seized up on both of them. So what happens is instead of wearing the pads evenly, it just pushes all on one and just burns the back or burns the front. So what we're gonna do is just pop these 2 pads out and then the 2 bolts here and here and take this to the bench and try and get these freed up. So I'm gonna wedge these pads out real quick. Alright, so you can see the back pad is all broken up. There's pretty much no material left. The top was wearing real uneven because of those pins. And the front one See, it still wasn't even done with the wear mark yet, but yeah. So, and then we got this bolt and this bolt we're gonna pull off. 17 millimeter. There are 2 bolts, and then just pull the bracket out, and this is what we're going to be working with. Now you can see the rotor, how the wear line was real bad up here. There's a big lip on it. This area back here was, pads don't even run there, just here. So now we're going to pull the rotor off real quick, put the new one on, and then we're going to go fix this bracket. So that one's stripped, and that one's also stripped. So not much you can do when that happens. We're just gonna drill them out. Just gonna drill them out nice and slow. Alright, there it is. So just pretty much, let the drill do the work. Don't push too hard because you're gonna dull your bit. You're gonna just let it drill. It'll bite through eventually. There we go. That's the other one. So that takes care of those 2. I'm actually gonna pry it. Wasn't even stuck, so it just slid right off. A little crunchy. There you go. There's the back of it. Set that aside. We drilled those 2 out, so if you look, there's a little bit of a stub there, and it's really hard to tell, but there's one here too. If you want to be picky about it, you can put pliers on it, and they'll usually just come right out. Unless they're really rusted, which this one probably is, so I'm just gonna leave them. They usually just put these in place to help, like, on the assembly line from stuff falling off, so you keep the screws on there, or just makes putting the wheel on easier, but it doesn't affect it if you don't put them back. So usually just drill them when they break like that and move on with life. It's fine. So we're gonna put the new rotor on, and then we're gonna go fix that bracket. Okay. And then usually just put a lug nut on, stop it from falling off. This is basically what those screws do. Okay, so there's my new rotor. I'm going to wait to spray it down with brake cleaner till after, but it's got this nice oily coating to help keep it from rusting during shipping and storage. It's a good idea to spray it off, otherwise it smokes like crazy and smells really bad. Alright, so have it in the vise, and basically I just sprayed them both down with oil, and it's a 17 mil socket. And usually the way I do this is just start by, see, it's already moving, breaking them loose. Put a little more on them, so I get them moving good. And then I start pulling back on it while I'm twisting to try and get them to pop out. I'm actually going to put a rag on. Just like that. There's the pin. We don't need that clip anymore, so I'm going to pull this pin. And now we're going to break this one loose. This one's on there. Yeah, that one's in there really tight. There we go. You can see this little rubber, I don't know, it's supposed to help it glide a little smoother. It was all bound up. That was holding it too. So I'm gonna spray this with oil. So I got both of them coated. Then you want to find a drill bit that just barely fits in there. So this one's a good fit. I'm gonna get the drill and just kind of bore it out, try and scrape off all the rust. Alright, it's gonna be hard to see, but I got a drill bit that just barely fits. I'm just gonna ram it in and out and try and scrape off the rust. You can see, let me see if I get better lighting on that. The crud in the drill bit. Looks good. And you want to try not to take off any metal. Like that time I went a little too aggressive and there's a couple flakes. But you just want to try and like lightly score it. Spray it out again. Alright, so I scraped that all out. This is not going to pick it up. Well, there you go. You can kind of see inside, nice and clean. Compared to this bottom one. All rusty and crusty, so you do the same thing on the bottom one, and then we're going to clean the pins, grease it, put it back together. Alright, so here's this pin. I got it nice and clean. There's no more rough edges on it, it's just surface rust. And the little rubber piece is ripped, but we're just going to do it anyways because it's not really going to affect it. So, I'll show you how to do this real quick. This is the old pin. You can see just how rusty and gross that is. I'm just going to pull the boot off. Just like that. Set that aside. Give it a little wipe off in the rag. Okay, looks like that. Now, a drill or whatever, but I'm using the impact gun. This is a socket that fits it. And then some like steel wool Brillo pad, whatever it is. Just take it and wrap it up in it. Squeeze it nice and tight and then just and yeah, there it is. Things like new. A little bit of rust here, but just surface again. So that's that. Put our boots back on. Just like that. Same with this one. Put some grease on it. Going to just slob this up. Just take it all over the pin. And then just put the pin in. Try and spin it as you go to help pull the grease in. Liberally apply the grease. Very generously. This actually goes in the top when I messed that up. So same thing, twist it, because that helps pull the grease in with it. Slide it. Take this and just tuck some in there if you want. You just want to make sure water can't get in there and rust it up again. perfect. Nice and free, plenty of movement, and then you're just going to push the boot on. Alright, so both of these are back in now. Got new clips all the way around. Just going to go through and grease them up. Alright, let's go back to the car. Alright, back of the car. Put our bracket on. Those are great. Now the pads. That's how they look. Pins are nice and free. Here's how the tool works. It goes in just like a shoe. Has an adapter that butts it up to the caliper. And as I tighten it, it just squeezes back in. Okay, I dropped it there. Didn't have the bolt in all the way, but just finished screwing it back in. Putting the last bolts in. Alright, well, I actually get to show you in this video, but here it is. Olsa Tools. Got the thin wrench set, and this is actually perfect for this job because when I try and tighten these, that keeps spinning, and you can't get a normal wrench in here because when you tighten this down, it squishes in on it. So these thin wrenches, I think they're 4 or 5 mil thick, fits perfectly on that. And then I'll have plenty of room so it can tighten down and it won't get stuck in there. And yeah, so let's tighten these down real quick, and then I'm going to talk about the wrenches real quick. Clearance, it's very thin. Normal wrench gets stuck on that. These are perfect for that. They come in 2 sizes on each end, 17, 16. Goes all the way up to 19 mil down to 7. So you get the whole spectrum. Nice foam case. I already got it dirty, but yeah, it's pretty cool. This is our first channel sponsor too. So I got another video coming. I'm getting a torque wrench. Pretty hype one. It's digital and everything. And we're going to be retorquing the head studs on the Jetta. And that'll be a good test for it. So big shout out to Olsa Tools. They're going to be in the description below. Use my code, get 10% off. And yeah, let's finish up the brakes. Alright, so that's pretty much done. Last thing is just spray it all down with brake cleaner just to try and get off some of the oils. Alright, that's mint. Cut off most of the oils. That little bit will burn right off. You just want to get the bulk that they send with the shipping on it. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to put the wheel on. Alright, I'm gonna end it here. I was gonna film the other side, but it's literally exact same thing. Same sizes, same exact steps. So, it'd be kind of pointless, but yep, that's it. So, if you enjoyed, leave a like. Feel free to use use the link. I have the link down below. You can get this set. They have ratcheting wrenches, torque wrenches, screwdrivers, organizers, everything. So 10% off. Put the code right here. And yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like. Let me know what you thought of it. I'll see you in the next one.